You're great.
You're great.
You're great.
You're great.
You're
Hey,
great.
Derek.
Are we gonna have nicknames for each other each episode?
You're
I think
great.
we should.
You're great.
I'm Underboob. That's the original. That's the OG. So you're Nev Nips. I'm Underboob.
Oh wait, let's not give away the studio production value we have here.
It's pretty low.
You're probably going to sing anyway, so you might as well just use
That's
that
a
part,
good
you
point.
know? You're great.
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 You're great. Sorry, I had a really deep burp.
No,
It
that was
came
great,
from
'cause
the
you're like,
from the
okay.
nethers.
Just 5 seconds of silence, and then you immediately like burped, and then you went heartburn.
Ooh, that's
Yeah,
bad.
it's a painful one. Well, welcome to the Hug Life Podcast. I'm Mike Heartburn Coletta.
And I am Monica No Reflux Nevi.
Ooh, that's weird.
Yeah, you don't. That means you don't have it. Acid reflux. It's a hell of a thing.
Yes. No, I've heard. I mean, I think I do have. I get heartburn from.
Just one hard stance we can do. We're an anti-acid reflux podcast.
It is true. We're sponsored by anti.
By the opposite of acid reflux.
Yes. I'm not. Oh man. What do you
Well-
got coming up, buddy?
Oh well, this
Sorry, you hate it when I
Friday
call you buddy.
and
I'm sorry.
what's that?
I forgot about the buddy thing. I'm sorry.
Honestly, it's been so long it doesn't even bother me anymore. Like
Okay,
we don't
good.
see each other, so it's like it's also like
if you just do it all the time.
I know. But yeah, Friday and Saturday we're going to be in Coeur d'Alene
Yeah.
at the
Friday
Honey
and
Social
Saturday.
Club and
I
Eatery.
just got a message that we can add 10 more tickets, so we can fit 60 people in there now. So
Ooh.
get your tickets. They've been moving. If you don't have them yet, just get them online because I do think we're going to get pretty close to selling out. So you want to make sure you got your spot. And they're cheaper
I'm fully
online anyway.
vaccinated, so I can give people hugs too if they want them.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and they're going to be longer
I'm-
for human contact.
Half vaxxed. So
Old Monica half vax Nevi. That is what I'm doing though. What do you got going on other than that this week?
yes, I am headlining Honey Social Friday and Saturday. Then Sunday, I will be at Tacoma Comedy Club at 5 p.m. for Todd Royce and Friends. Todd
Royce and Friends. I don't know who Todd Royce is, but I've heard the name a lot lately.
He's very popular on TikTok.
Old TikTok Todd Royce.
But he happens to be a Northwest comic. So, okay, yeah. Oh, oops. And then tonight, if you're listening to this on Wednesday, I am doing The Grind, which is a virtual show. So you can check me out wherever you are. I'm headlining, closing that one. And then next weekend, the 15th through 17th, I will be in Wichita, Kansas.
Wichita, Kansas. Are you going to be in the
Looney
nightmare
Bins.
condo?
Yeah, I am. At least we're starting off with it, you know.
Well, if you want to call me while you're there, because there's no windows, just to hear another human voice, you can.
Yeah, I'm going to sleep outside.
You're going to sleep outside?
Yeah. Just because it
Monica
seems
put a
safer.
tent in the alley. Felt more safe.
Yeah, exactly. It's an office building that they turned into a condo, which I don't think is legal, but whatever.
It's literally behind the club. Like
Yeah,
you're behind
which
the
is
stage in this weird.
wonderful commute, but it is creepy.
Yeah, and the weird part about it is if it wasn't in the back of the club and if it had windows, it would be the nicest place you stay in
It is
on that
still
entire
like
run.
new, you know.
It's
like
all new.
Yeah,
everything is
newer.
new. The appliances are new. Like it's really nice. It's just a really weird thing that it's like set up that way.
Yeah, I plan on like going places.
You know what I think I'm
Walking
going to
and
do
stuff.
actually? Did I tell you my plan this summer? I think
No.
after I'm done with school,
Mm-hmm.
I am going to go for the 4-week. I'm going to try to do the full month
Do all
with
four.
him.
Sounds terrible. But go
Yeah,
for
but
it. No,
that way I
okay.
could drive. Because I think like the biggest problem for me when I do it is I don't have a car and it sucks to get places and to figure that out logistically.
Yeah,
But-
what did I do? Oh, in between Tulsa and Wichita, I rented a car, and that was actually pretty nice.
Yeah, I've done that before. That's pretty fun.
Yeah.
But I think it would be cool to have my own car and to do the full month, and it would be money in the bank, which is
It's
important.
definitely the best way to make money doing those gigs.
Is to do all 4 of them. It's
and
a lonely
just stay
road. but
there.
it's-
I am flying back in between because I've had all these miles saved up. So
That's
I
pretty sick.
purchased my flight there and back
Via
from
miles?
from which I could have actually got sweet deals. I don't know what happened. I was looking. Let's just talk about the positives of airline travel.
Yeah, let's talk about it.
I was looking at flights, and it's pretty expensive from Seattle to either Wichita or Tulsa.
It is
Closer to like $300, you know. And then a week later, I looked again, prepared to purchase, and everything was $150. It was like half price, and it was half of the miles too. So I went. If you on Alaska, at least this is how it was before. They've been changing a lot of stuff, but whatever you purchase is the flights that actually count towards your status, the miles. But if you use miles to purchase it, then it doesn't. So the flights back, I used miles, like in between, and then the flights there and home at the very end, I purchased. So it worked out financially actually really well for me, and I get to come home for, the few days in between. So
that's nice.
Yeah, instead of staying in a weird house.
Yeah, that's the only thing that stops me from doing the 4. Like I've in my mind, I'm like, I should do the 4-week because I'll be like done with school, and I'm gonna jump back into comedy once my school's done. That's like the plan. But then I'm like, that is a long fucking time to be like across the country. It's a whole month of like. Oh, man.
Yeah,
and those Monday, Tuesdays, and Wednesdays are the loneliest days.
They really are. And those are the weird places, too. It's not like you're alone in New York for a week, You're in Oklahoma.
But I also have miles, too, so maybe I should just save the miles and use... not miles, I have credit, because I had to cancel a gig.
Nice, there you go.
In Philadelphia.
Use the credit for something, I don't know. Yeah, there's
things you could do for this podcast. You could rate, review, and subscribe to us on Apple Podcasts. You could follow us on Spotify. You could tell your friends about us.
You could send us airline miles.
You could get those airline miles. You could. Oh, you know what you could do? You could click on the Amazon banner on huglifepodcast.com or monicanevy.com. Buy something on Amazon. Use your credit card that gives you miles.
Oh, there you go.
And you get miles. You get your item. We get a little kickback. And then everyone's happy because Monica and I aren't poor anymore.
Yes. Or you could go to patreon.com/huglifepodcast, sign up for at least $1 a month, use your credit card for the airline miles on that. Every month you get at least
you're
1
just
mile.
You're getting 1 mile. You subscribe to us for 100 months. That's 100 miles.
It's 12 miles a year.
12 miles a year, baby. How's that feel? What a terrible deal.
That's I know. That's one flight for me because I purchase a snack pack every time.
Monica loves that snack pack.
It's tough though because I am MVP Gold now. Not to brag.
Wait, is it MVP and MVP Gold?
It's MVP and then MVP Gold and then it's 75K Gold.
So I was just MVP.
Gold 75K.
Right as COVID started.
Yeah.
And they extended that an extra year for me, which is nice.
Yeah. So
but I'm not gold, and there's no way I'm keeping that status because I have not been flying anywhere.
It is tough, but I'm actually pretty determined to do it.
It's a good feeling when they let you board early because you're MVP.
Okay.
And you don't have to worry about your carry-on.
I get to board first. I get upgraded to first class like all the time, which is great. I get a chocolate every time. They just walk by and they give you a chocolate. It's great.
What?
Yeah. And then
as
I
a
get
gold?
Free drinks. Yeah. No matter where you're sitting.
I have never gotten a first class upgrade in my entire life.
I got first class upgraded to Cancun. It was awesome.
Gosh, I'm so jealous. When did you go to Cancun?
I went with my parents for a wedding last year, which actually is like what put me over the gold.
Oh, and did you just like
limit.
Look at your parents like peasants and then go up to first class?
I have a video of them walking past me after I was already in my seat. She like booked them, right? And then I got an email 10 seconds later that was like, hey, you've been upgraded to first class. So you're just first on the list, basically. If people don't fill the first class area, then you get bumped up.
Yeah, because then they get the other people on standby that were in your seat.
Exactly.
That makes sense. They want full planes.
Yes, now that you know all about our...
Welcome to the economics of air travel.
Fuck, yeah. Other things to plug. Just real quick, want to remind you we have an Instagram at Hug Life Podcast. You may have already said that. That's fine. Danny Dodge. Check out the art at Studio Dodge. Also, I have another show called Dumb Pitches, which is great. It's on YouTube. You can find it on podcast stuff too. Mike has another show still, right? Do you?
Yes,
Codex.
I do. It's actually it's we just broke 10,000 downloads a month.
Look at that. Codex
Codex History of Video Games. It's pretty
check
crazy.
that
I mean,
out.
granted, I don't know if it's going to stay at 10,000 downloads a month, but it was
That's
pretty
good,
cool.
though. That's great. And then I just launched YouTube memberships on my YouTube channel, which you get behind the scenes videos of my dumb pitches. The first one of which is with Kane Holloway. And we're talking about our soap opera idea called Tomorrow's Cruise.
That's what it was. I saw that and I'm like, these two idiots in my life have been talking about Tomorrow's Cruise for years, and I don't remember what it was. And I was like freaking out about it.
We
and then
talked
I'm like,
about
I'm
you.
gonna
We had to
watch
talk
it.
about you because you were one of the, we had like characters for everybody. And I remembered specifically that you worked in the kitchen and your name was Jackson.
The worst part is I'm gonna watch the YouTube video later because I'm going to I was like, oh shit, she did one with Kane about Tomorrow's Cruise.
Yeah, I might have to send it to you though.
And I don't remember
but
what it was, and I was like, I need to know because this was like a quintessential part of me driving in the car with you two and then talking about it and then being like, this is the stupidest fucking thing I've ever heard in my entire
It was really fun
life.
to talk about, honestly. Yet, of course, we were like, it's still a pretty good idea.
And yeah, and I think the game was like, obviously I find it funny, but it's fun for me to say it's stupid and then Kane to be like, no, this is the greatest show idea of all time.
Yeah, it was great. So that's up there. And then also on the highest tier of the membership, I've put a 50-minute stand-up video from when I headlined Tacoma the other night. So if you want to see a whole live show, it's $15 a month.
Hey,
But-
there you go.
yeah.
But you're a member. You can be a member.
That's on
And listen to
youtube.com.
Codex History of Video Games if you want to hear about. So if you want to hear
Video
some
games.
completely family-friendly talk about history of video games.
Yeah.
You know we've stuck with being clean this whole time? Isn't that crazy?
That is crazy.
I only said shit
That's
once
probably
on accident.
helpful as far
What?
as it's probably helpful as far as the numbers go.
Oh
because
yeah,
then
I think we
nerdy
get people
kids-
listening, and we get kids that listen too, which is kind
Yeah.
of funny. I got an email from a 7-year-old being like, "Do more Mario." And I'm like, "Sorry, it's only
Yeah,
so much time."
That's just the voice you read it in, like.
Yeah, do more Mario.
Yeah, well, then you come back over here so we can be plenty dirty. All right.
Exactly. I tell people that on Codex, they're like, I've listened to Mike and Monica's podcast, and I'm like, well, it is very different from this one. I'll tell you that
That's
much.
the thing. That's fun. That's what's fun about
No,
it.
that is what's fun. I think it's a good thing. So yeah,
Diversity
check
of
out Monica's
creation.
YouTube membership. So you have to send me the video because otherwise I have to pay you $15.
Well,
and
that
I
one
know
is
you,
in
and that
the
makes
middle
it weird.
tier, which is $8.99. So
Still giving
wanna-
you money feels weird.
use our Patreon to purchase a YouTube membership.
Next week, Monica jumps on here alone and she's like, yeah, I made Mike pay for the YouTube membership. And so he quit the
And now we
podcast.
quit the podcast. No, okay. Do you have any lexical embraces?
I do. You ready?
Yeah.
Cheese.
Nice.
Just cheese in general.
We've
Katie
definitely. I've
has
done this
been-
one before, so that's good.
crushing the mac and cheese. Like she got a book on how to cook mac and cheese with the bechamel sauce and make it really good and
Oh,
creamy.
yeah.
And it is so
There's a
amazing.
whole
And
book about that.
yeah, it's like different recipes and stuff.
Oh.
And but the whole thing about, so I've been like eating low carb lately, but I was having such a no good, shitty, bad day yesterday for reasons we're going to talk about in a second.
Yeah.
That she made it for me, and it was so good to just eat carbs again. It felt so nice.
That's great. Yeah. Well, that's so funny because when we get to this whole bad day part, that was one of Erin's first reactions. She was like, I'm just going to make a bunch of pasta and put so much cheese on it. That's exactly what she thinks.
It's the comfort food of champions.
It really is. It's great. Do carbs. Like, it's just, I love carbs.
Just like, hey, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to eat all this pasta, and then I'm going to lay in a pile in my bed for like 3 hours and just watch YouTube. That's what I did.
What are your plans for this weekend as far as eating? Are you ketoning?
Oh, when
or
we're
are you
together, I think I'm going to try to eat low carb because I think on Sunday I'm going to go pretty ham as
then
far
let's-
as like.
So I was planning to post, which I get it. They always take down like self-promotion stuff, but there's a North Idaho Facebook page, and I had asked for like hiking recommendations, but then at the bottom put like, also I'm here doing comedy shows if you want, if you want information. And then they didn't put it up, so I'm just going to repost it with just the hiking question, and then I'll ask what food, and see if anybody gives us like good barbecue or something, something with a lot of meat.
Is it a Facebook post?
Yeah, it was, but in the groups. So I'll go to different groups wherever I'm traveling, it's like Spokane nightlife, and then you say, hey, I'm going to be here headlining if somebody wants tickets or whatever. Not for free, but
Ask about chicken wings.
Ooh, yes.
It's been a while since I've eaten chicken wings too.
Yeah,
because it's so hard for me to go get them, and making them lately. I was really into making them, and then I realized that I like them better when they're in a restaurant. I think it's because of the deep frying. They're crispier.
It's like no matter what, they're still like a little bit better from it. Everything tastes better when someone else made it for you.
Exactly, when you don't have to do anything.
When I don't have to do anything, yeah. You're not
All right,
thinking about what to clean up.
Talking to the microphone, I just went way back. Okay, so today we are positive spinning.
Do you have good news or no?
Oh, I do have good news.
Okay,
oh my
sorry.
gosh,
I didn't know
sorry.
if we were skipping it or what happened.
I was just going so ham. So bring me in, sister.
Okay,
here we go.
Hey guys, good news.
Hey, welcome to the good news. I'm going to be Michael Letta. Talk as fast as possible so you can understand what I'm saying. Woman raises $100,000 in 2 days to pay for Asian Americans' taxi rides amid rise in hate crimes.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, it's really cool. So this is from, this was actually reported by ABC News, like the big national news. And the person who did this, their name is Maddie Park. And Maddie noticed that she was really scared to take the subway train in New York City because she just felt off because like being an Asian American in this country is not a great thing right now because people are awful. Yeah. So she decided to put $2,000 of her own money up and start a Venmo account that was like, hey, if you need a ride and you're an Asian American woman or a senior citizen and you feel unsafe, I will like pay for your cab ride. I'll just send me a Venmo request. Essentially, it's called Cafe Maddie Cab on Instagram is what it's called. And she got a bunch of recommendations, but she also got a ton of donations, and she got $100,000 in that Venmo account to help pay for people's cab rides.
That's great. That's a great idea. I mean, it's so interesting. Some people just think ahead, You're like, I want to help. I'm not exactly sure how. And she's like, well, would you feel better taking a cab? Yes.
Yeah, so it's Cafe Maddie Cab, paying cab rides for Asian women, LGBTQ, Asian elderly in New York City in need. Please, so you fill out a Google form and you tell them where you need to go and how much it's going to cost, and they just get a cab for you, which I think is really nice.
Yeah, that's great.
They did a program at WSU that was called Safe Ride or something, and it was very similar. Like women, and I think they opened it up to LGBTQ people also could get a ride home for free. It was just like a part of the university. Yeah, I always think that's good.
We had the Nighthawk.
Is that what it's called? The Nighthawk?
The Nighthawk.
That sounds really
Red
badass.
Hawks. But yeah, I used to take it all the time, actually, from the dorms down to the apartments.
If you qualify and it's going to make you feel safer, use that shit.
I think not a lot of people used it either. I mean, our campus wasn't huge, so that's probably a lot of it because you'd have to live, and it would only go a certain amount away. But if you could, which we could, I just would call, hello, and then they'd come and get you.
I know a lot of people that did it that were drivers for it because it was just a fun thing to do at night. Like a lot of people that didn't drink already were just I just become this taxi driver at night, and they do reimburse you for gas and give you the car and stuff, and so it's fun to do,
That's
I should have done it actually. I really like driving around Pullman because it's very simple.
That's true. Pullman's not too complicated. I was on Capitol Hill in Seattle, so a little bit more.
A little more complex. So that's the good news story. You ready to end it for me?
Hey guys, that was good news. Sorry.
I did ask her mid-tea drink. Mm-hmm. Like a champion. Okay, so are we going to positive spin my thing, your thing, or try to combine it into having a bad day?
I think it's a combine, and we can just, because mine's more of the emotional aftermath of really so we want a positive a really bad day or something. I want you to understand that it's really bad. I almost for me, I want to compare it to that same feeling you get when you think you're gonna break up, or or maybe somebody's ill or gonna pass away in your family. That's only in a fury. That's how today was.
So slightly
for me.
more than that song, you had a bad day, a real bad day.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, a real, but you're this is going to affect me for a week. I was at the doctor and I'm a competitive person. We all know that. And
she started playing ping pong against the doctor, and the
Right.
doctor was
I was
winning.
like,
And that just
I
caused her
can
day.
fix your neck.
And Monica spiraled.
Yes. No, I am pretty competitive with my my vitals. So like I want my blood pressure to be low and my resting heart rate to be low. And I went a couple weeks ago to the doctor just to get like a checkup. And she was like, oh, that's really low, for both of those things. And I've been working out more, so I was like feeling good about it. I was like, okay, good. My body's kind of getting back. I was so fucking like angry and jacked up. My resting heart rate is normally 68. And I was sitting there for at least 5-10 minutes before she came in. So I wasn't fucking running around. And it was at a 92. And then my blood pressure was like way up. And it's just because I was so like furious,
Yeah, I would get weird readings from doctors, and they're like, well, it's a little high, but it could just be because you're at the doctor's office. They even admit, like, if you're like nervous, because I
didn't want to say like I'm having a terrible day and I'm pissed, but I had just gotten my vaccine. Like I got one and then went to the other doctor. I'm very efficient that way. And I was like, I just got my vaccine. And I think she thought I was just like chatting with her because she was like, oh, cool. She's like, which one? And I was like, the first one. But so I'm a little like amped up. And she was like, oh, got it. I was like, not just chatting about the vax, but
vax chat.
Yeah, well, I get a little anxious with that stuff because just allergic reactions, and I have anxiety anyways. So they had me stay for 30 minutes instead of 15 because I'm allergic to amoxicillin, if anybody needs to know. Or I get a rash. So they were like, yeah, just stay for a little bit longer. So because I was like checking my skin and making sure nothing was happening, I was a little amped up. But it was mostly because I've been just furious all day.
Being furious can really throw off your whole day.
It really does. Like, you're different to other people, like it's a Nikki Glaser joke that she said on like Conan a bunch of times, but she's like, yeah, when people don't like respond to my texts, I'm meaner to my dogs. And I'm like, yeah, exactly. Like,
okay, as far as positive spinning that goes, when you are angry, I think in some way, depending on like how you can be more attentive.
Okay. You're more of like vigilant. Like you're like,
yeah. So like, you could actually get stuff done better because you're like, no, everything else in this day sucks. So I'm going to get my laundry done or whatever it is,
No, I was absolutely like amped up. None of me wants to like lay down, like,
yeah, you want to go do shit because you just like want to go blow the steam off.
That is funny though. And speaking of the vitals, because I was at the park kind of when a lot of it started happening, when at first I was getting messages about, let me see if I can concisely convey just dealing with someone who's manipulative and taking advantage of nice people for their own really just laziness. And I'm a very nice person, especially to this person. I've spent the last year doing so many things for them that I don't need to do. And then for them to continue to take advantage, like I just hit a tipping point where I was like, I fucking hate you. Like you're a bad person. And so it like all kind of came together, and my watch, I was like, had it on walk because we were at the park, and I was kind of walking around. And so it tells you if you've got like what zone you're in, if you're in like fat burning or cardio. And there was like 4 minutes in cardio and I was not running or anything. And it was just because I was walking. Like so mad. Yeah.
Just walking it out.
It was just like, God damn it. Because it's just based on your heart rate. But so I probably burned a few extra calories, even though it was not in the healthiest way. So
Hey, well, my no good bad day is I woke up at 5:45 a.m. yesterday to go fishing on Moses Lake. I have been prepping my kayak and adding like modifications to it, like drilling into it, using marine sealant, like doing it the right way to add all this cool shit to my kayak so I could go fishing on like a real fishing trip. I pack up my car the night before. I get in my car and I start driving at 5:45. And I'm like, well, I should get some food before I like hit the mountains. And I'm glad I did, because in the drive-through, my car started sputtering. And I'm like, that's not normal. That's not good. And so I call my stepdad who knows about cars, and he's like, yeah, I don't know what that is. That's bad. And I'm like, well, I think I might have to cancel my trip. And my mom's like, did you put gas in it? Because I've been having problems with this gas sensor. And it has never bothered the car before. It's always just been like bad sensor, not a big deal.
Right.
So I go to the gas station, put gas in the car, then the car won't start. And I'm like, fuck.
That's never a good sign when you put gas in it and it won't start.
Yeah. So then I put it in neutral, and the gas station guy is very not happy. He has to help me push my car like 10 feet into a space outside of the gas thing because I think he has to be in the store and he's supposed to watch it. It's fine, right? But park my car there, start thinking about a tow truck. My stepdad texts me like, hey, just try to wait 15 minutes and see if your car turns back on. Did that, didn't turn back on, so I'm calling the tow. I call the tow, I get it all set up, and then like I had another 15-minute timer on my phone that went off, and I'm like, well, I'll try it again. Then I turn the keys, and it works, and it turns on. So the minute it turns on, I just drive to the Renton Kia dealer.
Oh, right,
I drop it off. I'm like a mess, and I'm just like, my car broke down. I barely made it here. Da, 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 da. And they're like, it's okay.
Right. They're like, all right, jeez.
And then they found out that it is that fuel sensor because apparently I had not been driving it longer than like 30 minutes. When you think about it, right?
Right. Yeah.
And so this is the first time I drove it for like an hour in traffic up 405 and to like, essentially I was in Issaquah when I had to stop.
Yeah.
And that gas sensor tells the computer like how much fuel to inject into the engine. And if it's fucked up for a long period of time, it's going to give it the wrong reading, which is what caused the sputtering, which is what caused it to not start. So they're fixing that right now. It's going to be fucking expensive. Not a lot, but
that's
something dollars,
annoying,
which is
yeah.
enough.
You don't want to be doing all that business.
It just ruined my whole fishing trip day. And then I was like, you know what? I'm going to at least be productive and take this truck of stuff to the dump, this yard waste. And I try to start the truck. Truck doesn't start.
You just fucking no luck with
cars.
That day.
Not anything with an engine. I told Katie, I'm like, I'm not touching my computer today. I don't want to even try to turn it on. I don't want to break it.
Yeah. There is something about having a day like that where it is like the rains it pours type of thing. And like, yeah, if the truck just didn't start and that was it, you'd be like, all right, I guess I can't go today. Let's see what we can do about this. But the fact that it was both right after each other, you know, it's like, well, and then of course, like this is such a frustrating day for me just to have these things happen. It really, I've been really pissed. But then it's the day like I have to take care of the kid who's not in school because it's spring break. So then I have to take him to my parents' house so that I can go to these two appointments, right, that I've had scheduled, that I have terrible headaches and pain this week, you know, so I'm like, I have to go. I also need this vaccine, you know, I have to go do these things. Meanwhile, this is still going on like during all that. So of course it's like the day, like it couldn't be tomorrow when I don't have anything, you know, like,
yeah.
Right. And then I have like this, of course, this is fine, but it's on my schedule. And then I've started this new, I got hired, which is exciting, for a group called Sports Drink, which is the first time I've ever worked for a sports anything. You know, they hired me to go on this app called Locker Room each Tuesday, 6 p.m. Pacific, if you want to come in and hang out and talk about basketball for an hour. I'm getting paid to do that. And it's like the most exciting project I've ever had. Today is the first day, and I'm like furious and I can't focus on like figuring out what I want to talk about, and you know, like it's this day instead of yesterday or the day before. You know, like,
yeah, like it's just, it is when it rains it pours. It's so frustrating. So I guess the only good thing about it is knowing that it is gonna like end. Like a bad day is just one day,
right? That's
and
a
it's
good,
like,
that's a nice
like,
positive thought. I
had a panic attack in my car because the minute you have a car and it doesn't work, you feel like all your freedom's gone. Like, yeah, it just like shuts you down. And so I was like freaking out in Issaquah in this Shell parking lot. Like, what the fuck do I do? Not even realizing like, no, my insurance like has a tow company that like, and I set it all up, and like, if my car didn't start, I still would have been fine. You know, it's not a big deal.
Well,
but in the moment,
teaches you to kind of take a breath and be like, because I mean, and that's what it was earlier. Like I was so mad. I was like, I'm ready to get a lawyer at this point. Like I'm, you know, and I was like, give it an hour or two and then let's reconsider, because things are, you know, and I've been to this point with this person before.
Well, I haven't had a thing with a person in so long, except for our former weird housing fiasco in LA.
Yeah, that
was the last time I had someone like legitimately text me weird shit, and I'm like, what? And I was so mad and then the longer it lasted, the more I was like, what am I getting worked up about? Like,
I know it's such a frustrating thing. I mean, this is a different situation than I've ever been in, because normally like with that situation, you can be like, I'm just not gonna deal with these people anymore, you know? And now this is a person that I have to deal with, and it drives me crazy that people suck.
People suck so hard.
And maybe that's it. Look, it's a new life experience because I haven't had to deal with this before. And it gives you a little bit of insight into my mother's gone through the same things, and like a little insight into what some other people have gone through. Which I guess perspective is always nice. But I think the most positive thing about both of us having a super shitty day at least once this week is that we're saving up the good ones for this weekend. So we're going to have a good weekend. It'll be great shows to make up for this.
And I'm not touching a car, so it's going to go great.
Yeah, I will take Lulu.
Do you want to take this ridiculous quiz I found?
Oh, yes.
So this quiz is pretty outstanding. It is build a salad and we'll reveal your dominant personality trait.
We've never built a salad.
I know. I've never built a salad in my life.
Start with the bowl.
So you got to choose a bowl. So what bowl do you want? And then describe it.
I want the wood one. Oh, wait. I like, the top wood one. I like a wood bowl.
That was actually going to be the one I chose too. So I'm going to go with this one that looks like it's wood, but it's ceramic on the bottom left.
Yeah, that one was the other one. There you go.
Pick some greens. Kale, lettuce, spinach, mixed greens, arugula, or zucchini noodles.
See, this is tough. I'd like kale with arugula, but I'm going to go with kale.
Okay, I'm going to go with lettuce.
Okay.
Pick your protein: grilled chicken, tofu, steak, salmon, chickpeas, or crispy chicken.
Interesting.
I am making a very unhealthy salad, so I'm going to go with crispy chicken.
That's pretty funny. I do like a steak salad. I'm going to go steak.
Nice. Pick a veggie topping: broccoli, carrots, cucumber, tomato, bell pepper, red onion. What are those ones you think you're into?
Other ones? I'm going to go with tomato. If I had to pick just one of these, I have to pick tomatoes.
I'm going to go with carrots because I feel like shredded carrots are like a good way to add texture to a salad.
Yeah, that's nice. Yeah.
I'm into that. Care for another veggie: corn, mushrooms, radishes, sweet potatoes, squash, or no thank you.
We're really switching some stuff up here. I'm going to go... I love mushrooms, but I don't like raw mushrooms. I don't like the texture.
Mm-hmm.
I want to go with corn.
You're going with corn?
Yes, I'm going to go with corn.
I think so. I'm going to go with sweet potatoes.
Okay.
I'm going to go crazy with it.
That's pretty
All right,
nice.
now you got to choose a fruit.
Fuck that.
Apple slices, mandarin orange, strawberries, pears, grapes, or no fruit.
No fruit. I'm very anti-fruit on salads. I hate it.
I like it when you have apple slices just on the side. So I'm going to have them to lay them across the top of my salad, and I'll put them on a separate plate and eat them just like apple slices.
You're like, can I just have a side of apples?
Yeah, essentially.
Yeah.
Something extra: hard-boiled egg, crushed peanuts, crispy wonton strips, sesame seeds, avocado, or croutons.
I'm going to go with avocado.
I like a hard-boiled egg that's diced. That's what I'm into.
Yeah, that's pretty good too. Okay.
I got to pick a dressing. Caesar, balsamic vinaigrette, ranch, Italian, sesame seed, or spicy peanut.
I'm between Caesar and balsamic. Those are kind of the only
I'm
two
going
that
for
I
ranch.
go. I'm going to go with balsamic because it's, kind of what I'm up to most of the time.
All right, and the last thing they want to know is, do you want to add anything to your salad? So a sandwich, a bowl of soup, a baguette, or no thanks, just the salad?
Man. I mean, honestly, I want to add a sandwich.
Me too.
I'm going to add a sandwich.
I'm going to add a sandwich too. Fuck it. YOLO. Let's do it.
What is this? Our dominant personality trait?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
What did you get?
I got ambitious.
Ooh, that's good. Tell me what it says.
Driven, competitive, hardworking. These are just some words that come to mind when people think of you. You shoot for the stars and don't let anything or anyone get in the way of your goals. You always aim high, and thanks to your determination, you usually succeed. I don't know if that's true, but...
I got charismatic.
Ooh.
You're what the kids call a people person. You're naturally friendly and fun to be around. You're not necessarily an extrovert or a party animal. You're just really, really good at getting along with people and making them feel at ease. Anyone would be lucky to have you for a friend. Thank you, charismatic personality trait.
That's pretty good. That's a great one.
Do you feel lucky to be my friend? That's what it just said.
Do I feel lucky to be your friend?
Mm-hmm. Do you feel lucky about it?
Shh, nope. I'm just kidding. Yes, of course.
So good. Okay. What's the charity for the week?
I don't know.
All right. How about you go support like a local charity?
Yeah,
Like,
tell us.
we actually
your
don't talk
favorite
about
one.
like there's so many like local food banks or like
We talk
donation
about food banks
centers.
a lot. Find Maddie's cab thing and donate to that. That's a pretty good idea.
Or volunteer your time somewhere.
Yeah, they were
We
talking
talk about
you
money
can-
a lot.
Yeah, you can volunteer right now to help with vaccines, right? You know, get people registered and whatnot. And then at the end of the day, if they have extras, they give them to the volunteers. So if you need to skip the line for whatever reason,
Go volunteer. Good
There
stuff.
You go.
All right, Monica, is there anything you want to say to listen before we go?
Yeah, I love you so much.